I like the show Rwby. It's great and it's always been one of my favorite TV shows ever since I was a small child. The show has amazing characters, an amazing plot, and an amazing fan base. Well, maybe not the best fan base. It does have its problems. The show is about girls who go to school to fight monsters called Grimm. So it's basically Monster Hunter, but if you knew what you were doing. And it stars 4 girls, all with unique personality. We have the teenage protagonist with a weapons fetish, the Everyone Loves You character, the cat girl, and the older sibling. And I bet you're wondering, Sky, don't you have to go into deeper detail on these characters than just giving short little biographies? Well, yeah, I do. That's what I'm gonna do. The main character, Rwby, is the leader of her team. She's naive and she's the youngest. She's known to be hopeful and she's known to be optimistic. I really like Rwby as the main character. She's the best in my opinion, but then again, we're compared to each other a lot. We act very similar both personality-wise and both in the thing we do. Rwby isn't the strongest in her team. Her power is more about speed as she turns into roses. Most people think that Rwby isn't a good main character because of how she does not drive the plot, but Rwby does start a lot of the fights and she makes a lot of the plans. Rwby also grows throughout the whole series, so I have a personal connection to her. I can relate to Rwby a lot and that's why she's my favorite character. While she does not have the best way of doing things, she is still a great main character. Then there's Whis, who is everyone's favorite character. She's always had her family there to make her what she's supposed to be. She didn't get to choose too much, so this made her become sort of rebellious. Whis isn't the nicest of her team. She's known for being a bit mean, but I understand why people like Whis. Her character arc throughout the whole series is one of learning to become who you want to be instead of caring about what other people think. This is relatable for a lot of people, and she even has an amazing theme song. Blake is Kango Kyobi as a girl. Fine, I actually have to say stuff about Blake, okay. Blake is a faunus, and she's kind of the racism plot character. While Rwby does not handle the racism plot with the faunus and the humans the best, Blake is still an alright character. Some of my buddies actually think that Blake is the best Rwby character simply because of her dialogue and the way she interacts with other characters. It's just amazing. I also really like her and Sun's friendship. Then there's Yang. Yang is Rwby's older sister, and she's known for her confidence. My favorite thing about Yang is actually the way she dresses and her character development. She dresses like she doesn't really care what anyone else thinks, like she dresses for herself. And while Yang does have some features, that's not really what everybody likes about her. Most people like her development, how she was a pretty realistic interpretation of what mental illness is like. And when she learns to use her head more during a fight, it's probably one of my favorite moments besides the whole Blake thing. So those are characters, but what about the action? Well, Rwby has amazing fights. The weapons are amazing, and everyone has their own weapon that represents them in their own way. Rwby has a scythe because she likes weapons, her weapon fetish. Yang has gauntlets because she's angry and she's known to fight without thinking. Whis has a rapier because she's fancy and does ballet. And Blake has a sword and gun because Blake's a ninja. It's honestly cool how Rwby sends for weapons. They even explain how the characters got their weapons. It wasn't like one day they were just walking up, found the weapon on the floor, and said, I wanted it. No, they crafted it all on their own, and I think this is cool because a lot of animes don't do this. Even though they did kind of mess it up when they let someone else upgrade their weapons. Like, can't they all upgrade their own weapons since they made it? Every fight makes you feel like you're watching an anime. Fast movements and a lot of hits. Just an amazing fight. Every character has their own power to make the way they fight amazing. Okay, this part isn't really scripted. Actually, I'm just thinking about this on the blue, but, the Rwby tournament arc is probably my favorite arc of the whole show. It's amazing, the choreography will keep your attention, the story is great. I'm gonna try not to spoil it too much, but just know the Yang versus Mercury fight is just great. I'm not gonna say too much. It's just amazing. But trash art style, Sky. What about the other seasons? I don't care. It's amazing. Go watch it. The music made by Jeff Williams and Casey Williams is just so. Every bit of it just makes you feel so into the fight and so into the show. You can go listen to the OST if you don't believe me. Just go and vibe to it. It's amazing, honestly. Even the villains in Rwby are great. Everyone's just amazing, even though redemption arc isn't the best. She just kind of says, I'm a good guy now, and then, that's it. And Salem's a nice main villain. She's intimidating and powerful, and she can even be creepy at times. Then there's the Grimm. These monsters are actually cool, they feel original, and every single one of them has a nice design. They don't feel outdated or outplayed, and they always do what they need to do. They need to be, monsters. I just like the Grimm personally. They're nice little villains. I honestly love the show Rwby. It's a big part of me, and I just love everything about the show. It just makes me happy to watch that Rooster Teeth can make a good show when they want to. I'm not gonna sit here and keep rambling on about the show, but please go watch it. Just, just go watch it. It's a great show.